Om Shanti. This morning we heard a wonderful Murli of Avek Bab Dada about giving the return for the unlimited love which the sweetest Bab Dada bestows upon we souls. And that return is, very rhymic English words are there. What is the return? To turn, that's it. Baba said that the return of the unlimited love which Bab Dada is bestowing upon us is to turn, to change, to transform. And the Murli ended with a slogan, with the process of transforming negative into positive. How do we do that? If we have the unlimited treasure of good wishes for others, we can transform all the negativities into positivities. Whichever religious or spiritual gatherings we go to, or even if we go to a doctor these days, he keeps telling us that you shouldn't have negative thoughts, they've got a very bad effect upon you, it causes you tension, you should have always positive thoughts only. But no one tells us the process of transforming negative into positive except sweetest Bab Dada. Because that is what his role starts with. His role is to transform this world of negativity, iron aged world, into the golden aged world, the world of positivity all around. From the attitude of body consciousness to the attitude of soul consciousness. From our activities of spreading negativities and stresses to our activities of spreading happiness, joy in the environment and in the world at large. So how fortunate we souls are that we have been chosen by the Almighty Father out of many millions. So we are all the chosen ones, are we? And now what Bab Dada gave us the task this morning was to be chosen out of the chosen ones. That's what he says, first class first. When I was listening to the Murli this morning, I was reminded of the Ramayana and Mahabharata stories, which are very common in India. And we keep seeing these serials of Mahabharata in our televisions too. Sometimes in Madhuban also we show on television to our Gyansarovar Nivasis or Madhuban Nivasis some selected such stories which are telecasted to make them visualize as to what has been said in those stories and how those stories become a source of transformation in ourselves. There's a famous writer, Mr. Narendra Kohli. He has rewritten the story of Mahabharata, We have a Hindi newspaper. I was sharing Brother Nirvair. We were three of us. Somebody said, tell me a person who can write a story like Mahabharata. No one can do that except Maharishi Vyas. And then Nirvair Bhai replied, do you read the newspaper? I believe you are a media man. He was the chief of media of the BKs who was questioning. He says, read the Hindi newspaper of Rajasthan Patrika, and every day there are columns on Mahabharata. Though I don't like the story of Mahabharata at all, but sometimes I go through those because it is totally a new approach of rewriting a story. In all these stories, we as detached observers keep watching what one character is telling the other character. Is it? How does one person behave with the other one? This is how the stories are written. And this approach is a little different. The present writer's approach is very different. Most of the story which he has written is the character is talking to himself, within himself. There is very little about a talk between the two persons, but there is more of a talking of the character with himself. And the writer has written it with this expectation that if you read this rewritten version of Mahabharata, I expect a few things and I want a feedback. Did you get a feeling of a new way of thinking in your mind? Did you get motivated to churn within yourself and think in a new manner? Did your process of thinking lead you to personal transformation towards better? If yes, I have succeeded in my effort. See, that is called turning. Turning from looking at others, hearing what are they talking about, listening to them, and then probably getting involved into their chit-chat. That's what Baba mentioned in page 2 of the Murli today. That we not only see others talking to each other, बातों को देखते हो, बातें सुनते हो, you listen to those talks, chit-chats, और बातें करते हो, you also start getting involved into it and talk with them. Something waste. And then he says, turn within. Don't listen or see what others are doing. Just turn within and see what you need to do within yourself. What is Raj Yoga? It is just turning from extrovert thinking to introvert thinking. So thinking inwards and then thinking upwards. That's what Raj Yoga meditation means. And the effect of that turning or changing is all positive results on your mind and on your body. When you are thinking extrovertly, your brain waves, if you measure your EEG charts, you start showing beta waves, high speed waves. And the moment you turn within, start thinking about yourself as a soul, a peaceful soul. Just you start thinking inwards and those frequencies start becoming slow. They turn into alpha waves. This is how the EEG starts displaying. I have gone through these experiments myself when I used to work with the government of India as a military officer. And the doctors was surprised as to what's happening. And I used to smile that I'm just turning from extrovert thinking to introvert thinking. And he says, your beta waves are changing into alpha waves. What magic do we do? So these are the magical things which happen when we turn. Then Bhadada came to the thoughts, the power of positive thoughts against the waste thoughts. Then he referred to the story that they fire arrows from their bows. That's how the Mahabharata or Ramayana, both stories are alike when they show a fight between Ram and Ravan in Ramayana, and between Arjun and the Kauravas. And when you see those videos, they're so funny. From one side, a big warrior or soldier, he's firing or he's shooting with his arrow. And from the other side, the other warrior also shoots his arrow. Both the arrows come like this and they hit each other and they both get vanished. And ultimately, after some time, the arrow of the Pandava side or Rama side, it wins over the arrow which has come from Raman's side or Kaurava's side. And then the devilish person is dead. So when we see those TV pictures and we see those scenes, we enjoy it. But then within, if you are then also you turn within and then you observe the purpose for which that video has been shown. It gives you the reason why it happens. Because all these stories ultimately lead to victory of virtues over vices. All good stories. And that is the time now. And when Bhadada tells us to give the return of his immense love, he also used the word turn within. And accumulate the treasure of positive feelings, elevated feelings, and good wishes. So that you have so much strength that you can transform negative into positive. And whenever we do it, if you do it once or twice, it motivates you to do it again. And that is what is the reason of the shining bright faces of the BKs. When we sit in meditation, what does happen to our faces? When we start meditating, anybody sitting on the dais or otherwise sitting in the audience, he starts meditation, we all do it. What happens to our face? When you conduct from here, people are watching you, and you sit here and somebody is doing in front of you, watch him. What happens to his face? We watch it every day. What happens to our faces? The glow comes on your face. Your smile widens and a glow appears on your face. That's what pulls us to this organization. When I came for the first time in my life into Brahma Kumaris, it was 38 years from now, 18 January 1972. It was in Rajouri Garden, Delhi. Sister Sudesh, who now lives in Germany, a very powerful yogi soul. She used to be our teacher in Delhi. And the center was where Sakar Baba used to come and stay when he used to travel to Delhi. And on 18 January, when I was invited to learn meditation, which I had a taste for, but when I went in, I saw a lot of people sitting in deep silence. It was almost like dead silence. And the teacher comes out and I ask her, Didi, what has happened? So many people sitting in a hall, just sitting in dead silence. What has happened? Has somebody died in your house today? And then she replies, she wanted to smile, rather probably she wanted to laugh, but she couldn't because she was in silence. And she smiling said, yes and no. I said, what do you mean yes or no? And she said, nobody has died today, but we are today celebrating the anniversary of our founder, Prajapita Brahma. So we are sitting in deep silent meditation. And I believe, brother, you have come also to learn meditation. I said, yes. Then please come and sit down in the hall and meditate. So I looked at her because I was from the armed forces, very hectic life, very young person with big mustaches and dashing type of a person. So I said, well, I don't know your ABC of your meditation. What do I do there if I sit there? And since it was 18 January, the silence day, she couldn't speak loud. She was speaking in a whispering tone like Ashok Gaba speaks. You just sit there and think that you're a soul, a point of light, a peaceful soul, the child of ocean of peace. She was in a very nice stage when she was speaking. And as I was hearing, it was maybe 35 seconds course given to the soul. 3 sentences in 30 seconds, and that's it. And I was made to sit in the class. Then after some time, Didi arrives. And then she tells me, I was sitting on the rear, not yet meditating, just observing. And then she says, now Didi is going to conduct meditation. So I looked at her. What do I do? Just do what I told you to do. And keep your eyes open, okay? And then she comes in and sits on the gaddi, and then she's conducting meditation. The first thing which I observed was the change of expression on her face. As she said, she was looking normal, and then the glow started building up. And then after a minute or so, I observed that the vibrations of peace are flowing towards me, as if a cool breeze is blowing towards me. I experienced that, and I was deeply touched because I have been, from a young age, living in the company of some saints, elevated quality of saints in India. Even Baba remembered those saints today in the Murli. When they meditate and they look at you, you feel that cool breeze is blowing towards you. And that's what was happening. And that's what motivated me to think as I was told to think. Instead of thinking outwards and observing what these people are doing, I started thinking inwards that I am a soul, a point of light, peaceful by nature. And as I repeated, I am a peaceful soul. That's all I remember. And certainly a body of light, what we now call as the angelic stage. I had no knowledge of what is an angel or angelic stage those days. A body of light, an angelic body comes out, and I start moving upwards. And I was in subtle regions. And that experience of peace was multiplying, and then peace started flowing out of me. Through the angel, the peace is flowing towards the world. That's what we do these days. But in the very first day, if you go through that deep experience of supersensuous joy, of feeling very light and very peaceful, it was something totally a new thing for my life. And the experience continued solid for 55 minutes. 5:35 it started, I remember, until 6:30 it continued. And as the meditation lesson was over, as that session of meditation was over, the white light was switched on, people started talking in a whispering tone to each other. I didn't even like people whispering. I wanted to remain silent. I said, why are these people talking? See, when a person comes in and he sees people are sitting in dead silence, he gets shocked, why are they sitting in silence? And when he goes through an experience of deep peace of angelic stage, now totally turned. Why are these guys talking? Because you like to be in your original nature of peace. You enjoy it so much that you want to live with it. And that stage of lightness, as I started moving, my feet were not touching the ground. As they say, angels don't walk on the ground, they fly. The very first day, such a beautiful, deep experience pulled me toward this organization. And when the second day I talked to her that yesterday it was superb, which happened, nothing is happening today. And then she said, do you want to acquire that stage at your will, at any time, for any length of time? You want to go through these experiences? I said, of course. And that's how the 7 days course started. And it continues till date. Because there are only 7 days in a week, and then it starts recycling. So the beauty part of this spiritual life is that when we turn, we experience peace and bliss within. Lately, we listened to Dr. Satish Gupta. Have you heard of Dr. Satish Gupta? He's a doctor who is doing research on coronary artery diseases reversal. He reverses the process of blockage of artery diseases. He just changes your lifestyle, your diet habits, and it teaches you meditation. Within 7 days, there's an enormous change in the behavior of the patient. Arteries blocked 90%, 95%. After 6 months, you do a angiography, 50% disease gone. After 1 year, you do another angiography, artery is absolutely clear. He's been rewarded by the President of India because he also happened to be a scientist, Dr. Abdul Kalam. And you know what does he teach? I once went through his lecture. He just simply teaches you that you turn within, see yourself as a soul, and see the 7 powers of the soul as if they are flowing out of it. And then see the effect of it on your organs. He and his wife, both of them are committed to this project. They have already cured more than 7,000 people. Such are the benefits of turning within. The experience of bliss and peace is so effective on your body as well. Like Baba was talking about the blessing this morning of turning gallows into a thorn. Do you remember? That because of your karmas, which have stagnated as if you were to be put to gallows. But since you have become Baba's child and you are remembering him, it turns into a thorn, just a little pinch. Exactly same thing happens when we turn our attentions inside. Just observe ourselves and experience the qualities of the soul. As we turn within and see ourselves as a soul, sitting at the juncture of the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, as the doctors use the language, and you see a shining bright star. He used the word twinkle, twinkle, little star. Talks like a child story. And then, as you look up from within and you see Baba, and the power flowing to you, your nervous system starts shining bright. So your nervous system gets strengthened just with the thought of seeing yourself as a soul, a point of light emanating energy. And then the first quality of the soul is that I am a pure soul. We always do that in meditation. Very simple things, but very effective. And as you see yourself as a pure soul emanating light, your immune system starts improving. After experiencing for a minute the stage of purity, you come to the next virtue of peace. As you experience yourself as a peaceful soul, your respiration system starts improving. Your lungs start getting more oxygen, the respiration rate goes down, and then your respiration system starts getting strengthened. After another minute, the next experience of loveful stage. When you're seeing the vibrations of love flowing into you from Baba, your cardiovascular system starts improving. Your heart starts getting strengthened. The fifth one is that I am happy by nature. So I am a happy soul or a joyful stage, and your digestive system starts strengthening. After another minute, he asks you to experience blissful stage. We all know we are blissful, peaceful, loveful, joyful. And as the blissful stage starts building up, the glow on your faces really shows up in a lovely manner, and your endocrine system starts strengthening up, which means the excretions from all your glands, starting from pituitary gland downwards, thyroid and other glands, it starts, harmonized excretions start coming up. And as you last seventh stage, as you see yourself as the child of the Almighty Father, the rays of power flowing onto you, your skeletal and muscular system start strengthening up. And as I was doing those 7 stages of meditation, as I came to a powerful stage, again I felt that the body of light starts coming out and you start moving towards Baba. And you reach subtle regions and you start seeing Bab Dada in front of you, which sustains your blissful stage. And then you feel so fulfilled that these virtues start flowing out of you. Purity, peace, love, bliss, power. And as Bab Dada has given us the homework, what do we do the homework these days? 12 times a day? How many of you are practicing the homework of 12 times? Good, good. Some of you might be finding it difficult to do it every time 10 minutes. Am I right? So Baba said, do it to your convenience. It was one of the sisters, who insisted that how much should we do at a time. It's good, Baba said. If you can do it 10 minutes, nothing like it. But do it to your convenience. Starting from a minute or 2 in seed stage, and then to the angelic stage. And then you can keep improving it. It's only a couple of days, Baba gave us that homework. And those who are practicing, they must be experiencing the amount of change which is coming in their life. always able to maintain a blissful stage, always able to maintain a glow on your face. So easy it is. And it is only possible now at this conference age, because His help is always with us, because He is personally with us at all times. What it needs is only attention. As Bab Dada spoke in the third page, it just needs a bit of attention to come out of all the tensions of waste thoughts. And then he says, pass hona hai, pass rehna hai, pass karna hai. We have to remain close to the Father. We are. We all love Him so much. Then we have to pass through various circumstances winningly. And then you will become pass with honor. The three passes. In Hindi there are three. All three words are pass only. But all have three different meanings. To be with Him, to pass through the circumstances victoriously, and also to pass with honors as the net result. And then He assures you, you passed last kalpa also, so you are definitely going to pass this time also. What a wonderful knowledge, and how fortunate we are that we always have the Almighty with us. And He is assuring us that you did succeed in the last kalpa, you are definitely going to succeed this time. In Hindi we say, we the vijayi, hum hain vijayi, honge vijayi. We were victorious, we are victorious, and we shall always be victorious. Such powerful, simple versions coming out of directly the mouth of the Supreme Father. When somebody asked me, why do you want to dedicate in Madhuban only? I was in Agra zone with the zone in charge. We were doing a lot of good efforts, expanding service. Earlier I was in Assam. There were no message in that area, so Baba made us the instruments, spread message there. But it was always inner desire to be a Madhuban Nivasi. And fortunately I got a posting to Mount Abu, which gave me a chance to easily transform from that way of life to this way of life. The only thought which used to come in my mind was that whenever the Almighty, the Supreme Father descends on this earth, you should be sitting in front to have a look at Him. When He looks at you, you should be able to look at Him whenever He descends on this earth. It's very fortunate that when we stay here, we are able to have that. And now the science has also come to help us out. Earlier, people staying away used to feel, oh, only Madhuban Nivasis can see that scene. And now with the help of science, all of you can see that scene. How many of you at centers see Bab Dada whenever he comes? Could you raise your hands? Good, so many. So the facilities are available. This development of science has also happened for us only. If we see the process of world transformation, all the major developments of science have taken place during last 20th century only. When Dada Lake Raj takes birth on this earth, it is the end of 19th century. Towards that. And then in 20th century, he lives till age of 93. And then now, he still stays in the angelic regions for us to become like him, to become Bap Saman. See the consistency of God's efforts for transformation of this world? The moment his instrument descends on this earth, science development picks up a pace. And by the time he becomes angelic and goes to subtle region, the latest version of television start picking up pace. We hardly had any televisions in this country till 1969. And as Baba became angelic, went to subtle regions, so the scientific development also started happening in that age. And as the time is closing in, all of us staying at any place on this earth can see him whenever he descends on this earth. So as a detached observer, as I see through the various scenes happening, it gives us so much pleasure that how all the means of science are also working to help us to achieve perfection in the stipulated time. And that stipulated time is again our creation. So Baba's last Murli, when he was speaking, he said, time is also coming to me. The nature, Prakriti, or the Mother Earth also comes to me crying, I cannot tolerate this burden anymore. So the nature is ready for a change. Shall I press the button? And then he looked at all of us. He asked us, how much time will you take? And Brother Karuna stood up. He said, Baba, give us this season. And all of us, the season means up to 31st of March. 3 more months. And everybody stood up behind him. Yes, yes, we will all become Bap Saman by that time. So it was a very nice scene, how we get motivated. And Brother Karuna is the one, when Baba first time came in Shantivan, I still remember both of us were on the stage meeting Bab Dada, and Baba came in a tent. That time there was no constructions done in Shantivan, 1995. A huge tent was erected. All children were also staying in tents. There were some temporary toilets made all around in that land. And then when we went up and met Baba, he said, make use of all the means of science available for Baba's glorification. And I really say, hats off to the efforts of Brother Karuna. And of course, a big team of IT people behind him, Brother Surya, who made this happen, Baba Online. And now we see Bab Dada, not only in the outside world, but in India also. At any center, anywhere, anytime the Supreme Father descends, the children are sitting in front. And when Bab Dada's versions are coming out, he always starts with that Bab Dada is not addressing the children which are sitting in front, but the children all over the world. When he gives Yad Pyar, Charon Or Ke he starts with. Charon Or Ke means from all the sides, all the 4 sides. There are 4 directions of the world. So children from all the 4 directions. Means he always emerges, the whole Brahmin family. And then he gives the Yad Pyar. And what a big fortune it is that wherever we are on this earth, we can see him bestowing his blessings on us. How many of you feel that the time of this season is good enough? 3 months from now, doing this homework very sincerely, we'll be able to achieve Baptism on stage, or we can do this homework very sincerely. Those who think this homework we can do very sincerely, can you raise your hands? Just experiencing seed stage and angelic stage at least 12 times a day. Time is your convenience, not necessarily 10 minutes. I am removing that condition of 10 minutes. Maybe you do it for a minute every time. How many of you can do it? At least for a minute or two, if not 10 minutes at a time, and 12 times in a day. Is it still difficult? Is it difficult? People on this side, I don't know whether they're getting translation. I think it's the easiest thing we can do, because it is the most delightful thing we can do. That gives us guarantee for our health and for our happiness too. That's why I just said a few words about what Dr. Ashok Gupta tells us about the 7 parts which are flowing out of the soul and how does it affect your various systems of the body. And if your body is healthy, it's very easy to do meditation as well. Both are interrelated. If we can do that, all of us can do what Baba spoke this morning in the Murli. That by emanating positive vibrations, positive thoughts which are very powerful, you can create a canopy of positivity on the minds of those souls who are not able to create positive thoughts. They are weak and they are wasting their time in wasteful thoughts. You can create a canopy of positivity on the head of those children and help them out. It works in a very simple way. When Baba spoke that Murli in 1993-94, around that time, I went through an experience. I would like to share how it works. There's a center in USA, Tampa, where first museum was made outside India. Tampa is a very small town in the United States, and I was not aware where is it exactly located. The teacher of that center, who now stays in the Peace Village, she had been on a visit to Mount Abu, Madhuban. And Dadi was going to preside over the Parliament of World Regions. She was invited. It happened in Chicago. And then Dadi wanted to take somebody with her, one of the brothers, and the soul was fortunate that this was chosen to go with her. But then the teacher of Tampa wanted me to come a bit earlier to help in preparations. The teacher of Chicago Center. But then this teacher from Tampa, she was there and she says, Ashok Bhai, I believe you are coming to USA. I said, yes, I am coming. I need a gift from you. Normally when Madhuban Nivasis go somewhere, they go with a, bag full of tolis. So they go and conduct class and then they distribute toli. And when they come back, that bag is full of gifts. Because we give toli and miti boli to all the souls, and then the teachers or the students, they give some gifts which we put in that bag and bring it back and give it to Sister Muni, who is in charge of all the gifts. So I was a bit surprised that when we go out, we are normally given gifts by the center people, and this sister is asking a gift from a Madhuban Nivasi. So I looked at her smilingly and I said, what do you want as a gift from Madhuban? And then she told me about the name of a person, Brother George. He says, do you remember him? I said, yeah, I know. He's a very senior brother who keeps coming from US. I don't know, from Tampa or anywhere. She said, yeah, he comes from Tampa. But he hasn't come for the last 2 years. So I said, yes, I haven't seen him for 2 years. And she said, he has been eaten away by Maya. That's the language we use. So I said, then what do you want me to do? I want George to come back. So I looked at her, and then I looked up, and my hand rose. We Madhuban Nivasis have a habit, we never say no for anything. Even in the previous life of armed forces, we were taught to say always, yes, sir, never say no for anything. So I just said, Amin, granted, your brother will come back. After that, she went away, and there were 2 weeks to go. And then suddenly I started thinking that she is a teacher, and she is a very good yogi soul. Why can't she bring him back? Why does she expect a Madhuban Nivasi to bring him back? And then again the answer comes, because she has deep regards for Madhuban. Because Madhuban is the land where God has played his role. We were all in Pandava in those days. There was nothing like Gyan Sarovar or Shantivan at that time. So her expectation is from Madhuban and Madhuban's Baba. So I went in Baba's room and started having a spiritual chit-chat. Baba, how will it happen? And Baba said, very simple. When you do meditation in the morning hours, Amrit Vela, at the end of Amrit Vela, for 5 minutes, you invoke the face, immerse the face of that soul, and then send good wishes for him to come back. So next day morning, I went to Baba's room after my Amrit Vela. I'm habitual when we do Amrit Vela meditation, we go to Satluj, I go to Satluj, stay with Baba, immerse the whole globe, and emanate vibrations. There are 5 continents, so peace, purity, peace, love, bliss, power. These are the 5 virtues which I see are being emanated. Baba emanates, I observe that he's emanating through me. And I see the souls on that continent feeling very light and bright when the vibrations reach them. That has been my normal practice, even now I do it. But then, as Baba directed, I used to immerse that brother, his face I had seen. And then I used to tell Baba, Baba, let this child come back. Because that sister had faith that Madhuban Baba can only help it to happen. And then I thought, maybe 5 minutes is too less for a person who stays, on the other part of the world. Like if India is here, America is here. So whether the vibrations reach there, if at all they reach, we should have some more intense vibrations to him. And then evening hours, I used to walk to Baba's rock, sit there for some meditation, and then again, used to go up in Satluj and see Baba, like you're sitting in a satellite and emanating vibrations, requesting Baba to tell that child to come back. See, when you are in an elevated place, you find it easier, things happening, and the vibrations go longer, fast, deeper. 2 weeks passed, so went on a flight to US, landed up in Tampa. As I came out, I saw Brother John. Not George, his name is John. John standing at the airport to receive. So I looked at him. I had a feeling of satisfaction. I said, so how are you, John? Oh, I'm fine. I came to receive you. The teacher rang me up and she said, Ashok is coming. You better go and receive him. So I thought, let me go and receive my friend. So we came out, sat in his car. It was a wagon sort of a thing, very strange type of a car which I had not seen earlier. And then we started chatting on the way. I said, oh, John, how's everything? He says, well, I don't know, brother, whether you know it or not, but Maya in America is very strange. I said, how do you say that? He says, Maya has eaten me away for the last 2 years. He himself is speaking now. That Maya has eaten me up for the last 2 years. I have never been to the center for the last 2 years. So I just looked at him smilingly. Anything else? He says, yes, stranger. Though Maya is strange here, but the stranger has been the experience of last 2 weeks. So, now my heart starts throbbing. Let's see what does he say. And then he says, Ashok, every day at Amrit Vela, Baba comes to my bedroom, shakes my bed and says, child, come back, child, come back. So I started looking at him. Inside I was feeling very delighted. And you know what happens? Once again in the evening he comes. And he again tells me, child, come back, child, come back. See the magic? how, if we practice today Murli, you can really emerge a canopy of positive vibrations and whatever message you want to give to this soul by just your positive thoughts and good wishes. And in this case, since I was not very confident, I never used to tell him that you come back. I used to tell Baba, Baba, you tell him to come back. And it used to happen that way. So the technique is very simple. I was sure Baba is always with me and I am from Madhuban, so if she expects from Madhuban, let it happen. But since she has faith on Madhuban's Baba, only Baba has to do it. This is the only key point, that you are only an instrument in between and you leave it to him, just be with him and he does everything for you. Whether it is relieving a person from Maya's clutches or whether it is relieving him from his waste thoughts, whatever. We all know that the Almighty can do it. As simple as that. We just need to be with him because we are all his loving children. And power of love is the greatest power, which always works. So power of love and power of positivity, power of good wishes, it can do any miracles. Time and again, we experience it in our lives. I've just given you one event, so many events happen in our life, so many events must have happened in your life. And if such a simple technique is known to us, why not use it? And why not emerge our final stage and serve with our final stage, that is our angelic stage, and ensure that time comes closer. That's what Baba is expecting from us now. That we have to bring the time to its end. And the end is indication of a new beginning. That's what the Vardhan was, today's blessing. This is not the end which we are bringing closer, we are bringing the beginning closer. The descendants of golden age is in our hand. Baba has given us the key. By merging our final angelic stage, our deity stage, because we go through those homeworks also, emerging your seed stage, your stage of final divine beings, worship worthy stage, Brahman stage, angelic stage. We have been doing that homework in the past. And we can do it whenever we want. And now, when Baba has made it as a compulsion for us as homework, we are more duty bound and motivated to do it. Then let's do it. And then we achieve the desired results. We all become Bap Saman. We all become healthy, happy, and wealthy, full of godly treasures. So with these good wishes that all the souls who are sitting here become number one in fulfilling Bap Dada's desire to become Bap Saman. Do we all want to become Bap Saman? Sure? Thank you. Om Shanti.